guys. Super Magic Day today. We're going to charge double admission today. Got a Key 14 here with us in person. The wonderful Mr. Sullivan coming to us straight from ValuePlays.net headquarters. The Yankees do have a decided advantage on the show today. Finally, Valerie is not here to tip the balance. What do you say, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I think I know how Hoffa felt before that last ride right about now.
Oh, boy.
Can you see Giant Stadium?
No. No.
That was what he saw the last ride.
Yeah, so exactly, right?
Hey, what do you have for, you had a couple articles that you posted today, Todd.
Yeah, they had an article on, an actually interview that Whitney Tilson did on Charlie Munger. For me, I think Munger is a little bit more the interesting of the Buffett Munger combination over at Berkshire, just because he's a little bit less known, and he's had, I think, far more of an impact on Berkshire than he's given credit for. So a lot of his thought processes and a lot of what he thinks and feels about investing, I think, is pretty relevant, while a lot less known. So I thought that was fascinating. And there was another article on AutoNation going on the offensive, quote unquote, to put their parts as far as expansion. Buying new dealerships, ordering extra cars, and they're really the recession was good to them because it cleared out a lot of the garbage. What?
You like their CEO?
Yeah, Mike Jackson.
Yeah,
he's pretty much been the voice of the industry.
Yep.
And, if Detroit had listened to him 3 years ago, they probably could have avoided a lot of the aggravation they just went through. But they did, and they kept up with their inevitably doomed model, and it came to pass. So. He's got them in a position right now with what's happened in the last recession, and the 3,000 dealerships gone under. Detroit had to remake their models, and the remake of the whole model is, they're not going to flood the dealerships with cars and undercut on prices. So that's going to increase margins on AutoNation. He's already increased market share dramatically with the dealership closings. So. They're set over the next year or two to really return a lot of money to shareholders. So
hey, that's nice. That's enough to make anybody like him as good management, right? That's supposed to be the point, right?
Yeah, he knows. I mean, if you talk to the guy, I've talked to him several times, and he knows what's inside and out. And if I go back to the first time I talked to him about a year and a half ago, everything he said was going to happen happened. I mean, it happened to a T. Not only with his company, but in the industry in general. Mm-hmm. And they were saying maybe 1,000 dealerships, and he said it's going to be 2-3 times that, and it was, and he was right. So you know what, until the guy starts firing wide on every shot, I got no reason to doubt what he says, right?
Hey, Jim and I were talking earlier today about the ratings agencies. We're still waiting for your buddies at Fitch Egan, right? Or Egan Jones?
Yeah, Egan Jones.
Egan Jones, yeah. But they're the only ones that didn't do the pay for ratings.
Yep.
I mean, they refuse to get into that game. So I think I don't know if there has to be a study out there. But if you look at the studies on their default rates on the AAA stuff, it's minuscule compared to the Moody's and the rest of those guys who are just basically getting rating shopped for them and giving out whoever paid the most. So they are going to come out of this mess smelling like roses. If you look at all the land-basing that's being done by the rating agencies and some of the questionable practices, their name hasn't come up once.
Yeah.
Right,
Egan
Jones.
They were above board with it.
Do you know them? Todd knows those guys.
In fact, I just read something that I think you're going to see them pick up a lot of, I don't know, can you call it market share in that game? It's probably not really considered, but I guess it would be. They'll come out of this well because they are, like you say, there's really 10 agencies out there, about 3 of them. If you saw my stuff that I would have shorted, 2 I did short. 1 is Fitch. It trades on the Paris exchange under Fimilac, and it's dependent on to short trades there. But the smaller ratings agencies that, like Egan Jones, is a good example of a company that is, the big guys are getting killed, and deservedly so. And you have another company in the same game who didn't do the bad stuff. For me, I want to deal with them. I'm going to pay attention to what they say, and that's business.
Now, do you know what I think is going to happen first? Is I think at the moment Moody's is getting hit, right? Moody's is getting crushed. But, I still don't see enough long-term that's going to wipe out Moody's. I think these guys need to get nuked. This is bullshit. They've been pulling this stuff for years, and this is like out-and-out fraud, right? Giving A ratings to somebody who pays for you, right? And none of these guys ever had a bad rating.
I'm on record in both my blog and every conversation I've ever had on the subject as saying they're the biggest criminals in the whole economic mess There's a lot of other people who are complicit, but the guys who put those AAA ratings for pay on bags of crap are the ones I think most responsible for the disaster. Because if you're investing in that stuff and you think it's AAA and it isn't, you're sort of kind of left out hanging. And a lot of people who were left out hanging, you know, they're out of business now.
But
the
the banks and stuff, you know, you got all these class actions against the banks and the brokers that were selling it. But, you know, the brokers that's selling it, he really didn't do anything. If it's got a AAA rating and he sits and tells you, well, no, I'm selling you something that's got a AAA rating.
No, you can't take them completely out of the picture. Even if I see something that's AAA, I buy bonds in large quantity all the time. I don't care if they're rated AAA. I'm still digging into the business because that's what I do. I want to make sure that I feel they would be AAA too. Certainly, and everybody who trades for bonds will go to the screen and see AAA as the first thing you get on your screen. Your broker, if you do bonds that way, the first thing he's going to say is they're AAA, and still. But
you do your own research.
And these guys who bought billions in this paper should have known better, but not. I still think the ratings agencies are the most responsible, but these guys should have done a little bit more. They shouldn't be let totally off the hook.
I think what you're going to end up seeing is there was an article in the Journal today about there's a whistleblower inside. I think it was Moody's who.
Yeah, it is Moody's.
There was a AAA rating given to something that already had tranches on it on review for ratings downgrades. So I think what you're going to do is you're going to find that stuff out there. They're going to subpoena Moody's internal records and internal emails, and you're going to find, I think, probably some big class action civil suits that are going to bust one of them.
Yeah, and I saw that comment, and when I put the blog up on the ratings agencies on Monday, we had seen a whole bunch of that stuff coming. They've been Teflon for a long time.
For forever, people have been saying, "What the hell is this?
Where's the media? Where's the SEC on these guys?"
Nobody ever says anything.
But the first time I saw them taking questions, when the SEC starts talking to these guys, that's the trigger for me to get in, because they're gonna look bad. They can't look anything but bad. And if they don't look bad, then the SEC is going to get, even if they're crystal clean, the SEC still got to pound them because those ratings agencies weren't of any value, and they get paid to make them, and that's terrible.
I think Congress will shot loud enough, and someone will have to be sacrificed.
Well,
whether it's Moody's, McGraw-Hill, someone is going to be the sacrificial lamb on this one.
All I can say is,
and you know what? Take your pick. They all deserve it, except for a couple.
I want it to be McGraw-Hill and Moody's because I'm sure large positions in both of those.
His bastard.
Yeah. I mean, take them down. I mean, they deserve it. And you know, let the guys who were ethical through this whole thing, who didn't just bow down with whoever wanted the most money and told people to go screw if it was a AAA or even AA, let them take all the business and do their thing, because you know what? They're the only ones you can trust right now when it comes to this stuff.
Well, they're the ones who should be getting the business. They've earned it.
Does Egan Jones trade? What's their symbol if they do trade?
I think they're private.
Yeah, I thought they're private too.
I think Egan's private.
That's too bad, because
which may explain why they did what they did, because they didn't have quarterly shareholders to live up to as far as
having to do the wrong thing. Right. Good point, Todd.
If they IPO, I'd buy them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, me too.
Hey, well, thanks for beaming in with us today, man. Hey, can you see the picture of the landfill behind him?
Is that what that is? Is that the big dig?
Do you have any color pictures of Yankees getting rings, or are they all in black and white still?
He always gets one last shot.
I got my camera ready for this year.
Gang, you got to read Jim's blog, ikey14.com. You got to read Todd every day, valueplays.net. Tune in, and we'll bring you the best of the best. These are the two best guys I know. Have a great day.